Why Arsenal must sign Jonathan David in the summer. So lads, despite there only being 5 days left before the season starts again, today lads we're gonna change it up for once. Instead of talking about my team news, my lineup, how Arsenal should play and all that stuff, because that's really Mikel Arteta's job, today lads we are going to discuss a player. In particular, the player that we are going to discuss is Canadian-born Gent player Jonathan David. Now Jonathan David is a forward, of course, playing in the Belgian league, and he's a player who's been on fire this season. Now of course this is the same league that has produced the likes of Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne, who I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans are thinking about right now, especially with Wednesday coming up. So yeah, with David ripping apart the Belgian league, a host of big clubs including the likes of Manchester United and the Arsenal have been linked with the player. And of course, with the future of Arsenal captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang still in doubt, I'm sure that Arsenal are looking for replacements, and David is a player who could be that guy. So with that being said guys, let's get into this video and allow me to tell you why Arsenal must sign Jonathan David come the summer transfer. Let's be talking. Five days squad, before Arsenal go over to Manchester and get the job done and try not to get battered. Yo, what is on guys, my name is Basil and welcome back to my channel. In today's video lads, we are back again, and today we are discussing a transfer for the first time in a while actually, so you know, give the boy a round of applause. And in particular, the player that we are going to discuss is Gent player Jonathan David. Now David of course is a Canadian player who can play out wide, can play as a 10 and play as a striker. And according to the latest reports, both Arsenal and Manchester United have been inquiries about the Canadian player. And so today lads, we shall discuss. But with that being said guys, before we get into the video itself, as always make sure to go down there and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. We are nearly at 10k, we're less than 100 away, so please subscribe. And as always lads, let me know your thoughts in the comments as well on the video on Jonathan David. What do you know about him? Would you take him at Arsenal? And does he have the facilities to replace Aubameyang or Lacazette or even play for the Arsenal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Follow my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, subscribe to the Offsiders. We have made some banging videos there, and vote for me for the Football Content Awards. But with that being said guys, let's get into this video and let's discuss man like Jonathan David and why Arsenal must, and I mean must, sign him in the summer transfer window. Let's be talking. Right, first things first lads, who exactly is Jonathan David? Who are you mates? Now David of course, as I have said, is a Canadian international player, and he currently plays for Belgian side Gent, and he has been there since 2018, having signed fresh out of Canada. In terms of age, the man is 20 years old, which is also just a bit older than me, meaning that this guy and me are both born in the same year. How has that happened now? And despite me really saying the man is a Canadian international, the man was actually born in Brooklyn, New York in the United States of America. But he actually then moved to Canada with his parents at the age of 6, and now he's a Canadian international, scoring 11 goals in just 12 games. Hey yo, that is pretty decent bro. And in terms of his statistics for this season as well, the man has scored 23 goals and got 10 assists in only his second season in the Belgian league. And you want to know about his first? Well, in his first ever season in Belgium, the man got 14 goals and 5 assists. I mean, I can't lie. Your first ever season, moving from Canada to Europe, and you've got 14 goals and 5 assists. That is pretty decent as well. So we're not just talking about a player who is just your average Joe player who's had one good season. The man's had 2 good seasons, and the man is only 20 years of age. I honestly hope you're listening, Arsenal. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the history of Jonathan David, which by the way sounds like a very, very British name. Jonathan David? What are you saying, mate? Now, of course, with Jonathan David being Canadian, the man started his career at Canadian side Gloucestershire Dragons. Okay, and then after spending a few years there, he then moved over to the Ottawa Internationals. And after spending quite a few years there, building his trade up, making himself as a player, he then got transferred in 2018 January over to Belgium to a man like Gent. And since signing for Gent, let's just get it straight, the man has ripped that league apart. We are talking 14 goals in his first season and now 23 goals in this season, meaning that he won the 2019-2020 Belgium Golden Boot as well. In his second full season, the man is 20 years old. Are you listening, Arsenal? And not only that lads, but of course with his impressive scoring rate for Canada as well, the man was the 2019 Canadian Player of the Year. I mean, I'm not saying Canada are stacked with great players, but they do have a certain Bayern Munich fullback going by the name of Alphonso Davies. So the fact alone that David won the Canadian Player of the Year just goes to show the levels this player is. And before some of the comments go, oh, he's Canadian, he can't be good. Are you telling me you wouldn't take Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich? Exactly lads, so let's show Canada a bit of respect. Moving on lads, let's see what type of player Jonathan David is. The question is he a top baller? And to answer that, very simple. simply, do you know what, he actually is. Because not only is the man a versatile attacker who can play as a 10, a false 9, a striker, and out wide on the left and the right, because make no mistake, the man is actually two-footed, left foot, right foot, he's both on good sides. He's also very, very fast and very, very strong as well. And it's not just that as well, lads, he's a very clever player as well, especially when it comes to his movement. In fact, I will go as far as saying his main strength is his movement. It's his ability to find those spaces and exploit them is why he's such a good player and why he scored so many goals in the Belgian league. And of course, the Belgian league, as we know, is not the greatest of leagues, but he's also scored goals in the Europa League as well. And as most Arsenal fans will know, the Europa League is no joke, and we know how the story goes. I hate you, Olympiacos. And as I've already said, David's ability to exploit the space is a very key part to his game, which is why he's also very good at exploiting the spaces in between the centre-backs and the full-backs. And those are areas that are very key, especially when it comes to Arsenal. All we have to look at is man like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and what he's been doing so far under Mikel Arteta. He plays in between the full-backs and the centre-backs, exploiting those channels. And David is a player who is also very good at that as well. And as I have already said, lads, with his versatility and his two-footedness allowing him to play out wide as well, the man is a pretty decent dribbler as well. We're talking at least 4 dribbles per game, which in terms of the Arsenal is a very decent number as well. So far, as you guys can see, David is a very complete player. He's got the strength, he's got the pace, he's got the ability, he's got the movement, he's got everything there. How on earth could this guy get any better? Well, hang on a minute, lads, the man is also a very good goal scorer. As I've already said, 23 goals this season, 14 in his first season. The man is 20 years of age. Now, no, a lot of you might be going, Babs, he plays in the Belgian league, that's awful. Well, it's the same league, lads, that's produced the likes of Romelu Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne. Respect the Belgian league. So moving on, lads, why exactly do Arsenal need him? You see how Captain Aubameyang, you know, yeah, he's got a contract and he's not signing that contract. So if he was to leave the Arsenal, we would need a replacement. And that replacement for me could be Jonathan David. Don't get it wrong, lads, don't get it twisted, lads, it is a massive risk, and I know that more than anyone. And as much as we are currently judging David on his potential, he's yet to be proven in a top league yet. So for him to come into Arsenal and take into the boots of one of the best goal scorers in the world is almost just setting himself up for failure. But that's where I need to get one more thing straight. Well, my actual thinking behind this, lads, is I think David is a player who can potentially grow into the role as he gets eased into the team. As I said, lads, the guy is still 20 years of age. He's still a very, very young player and a player who's got so much to learn as well. And so in terms of me and why I think Arsenal need to sign him, lads, is his potential. He has the potential to be a top player. I mean, I mean a top player. A player who has the ability to play so many different roles, has next to 0 weaknesses, and a player who, for me, I expect to grow into a world-class player. Now, make no mistake, this might just become a meme in a few years' time, but I'm willing to put my neck on the line. And not only do I think he could replace Aubameyang, lads, but I also reckon he could also be a bit of an improvement on Alexandre Lacazette. Now, again, it's a massive statement. Lacazette is a proven international player, but let's get it straight, lads. Lacazette at Arsenal right now is not the player he was 2-3 years ago, and for me, lads, he looks like a player who is on the decline. I mean, he's still a very good player and he's still going to offer Arsenal a lot, but I don't see him as a long-term option for the Arsenal. But in David, I certainly do. As I've already said, lads, he had the ability to play in that striker role down the middle, or play as a false line as well, and play it to a very good level as well. So for me, lads, there's also potential there for him to replace Alexandre Lacazette as well, because for me, lads, he is the epitome of a modern day striker, a player who has so many strengths to his game and very little weaknesses, a player who has the speed, the strength, the two-footedness, and also has the ability to put the ball in the back of the net. So for me, why Arsenal need him is simple. His potential is insane and he can replace Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Yes, I just said that. So moving on, lads, finally, is he worth £30 million? Well, if you can replace Aubameyang and he's a long-term option, I'm guessing the answer is going to be yes. Of course it's yes. For me, lads, £30 million in the current day of age, especially in the market right now, is next to nothing. Because when you've got teams like Real Madrid signing 16-year-old players for £40 million who've yet to play a professional game, £30 million for a player who's proven himself in 2 seasons in the Belgian league, scoring well over 30 goals as well, we are getting a player here, lads, who's not only just got potential on his side, but he's also got a bit of pedigree about him as well. I mean, just go out there and find me how many strikers at the age of 20 are scoring 23 goals in a professional league. And I will make myself clear again, the same league is a league that produced the likes of Lukaku, Hazard, and Kevin De Bruyne. It's not a proven league, lads, but it's a league that is proven to produce some very, very good players. And of course, what you get by spending £30 million on a 20-year-old player, lads, is that value is going to retain itself. Because if David doesn't become the next world beater, lads, I'm sure he can still go for that value in a few years' time. So to all my financial advisors in the comments, don't worry, lads, we'll make the money back as well. And for me, lads, by signing a player at David, we're moving on from Aubameyang. and Lacazette. These are two players who have done so much for us in the past few years, especially in Aubameyang. But at the same time, lads, you have to take age into account. Aubameyang is turning 30-31, same with Lacazette, he's just turned 29 as well. They still have a lot to offer to Arsenal, but they're not going to be here for the long term. And in Aubameyang, we have a player who is yet to even sign a new contract. So for me, lads, the last thing I want is the same thing that happened to Aaron Ramsey. You let the player run his contract down and you let him go on a free. I don't want that to happen again, because I have had enough of players running down their contracts and going for next to nothing. Sanchez, Ramsey, Van Persie and so, I'm not having it anymore, lads. My heart can't take it anymore. And for me, lads, that's why Arsenal must sign a player like Jonathan David, a player who has so much to offer now, but also has so much to offer for the future as well. He's a modern day striker who's got the pace, the strength, the finishing, the movement, everything you want in a striker. And I'm sure under the tutelage of Mikel Arteta, we could have a very, very good player as well. He might just be 20 years old, it might be a massive step up for him, but I think Jonathan David is a player who can make that step. My neck is on the line once again, lads. So for me, I'll answer the question once again. Is he worth £30 million? Yes, he is, and Arsenal must sign him. Now again, lads, that's my personal opinion. Let me know yours in the comments below. But if Raul Soler is watching this video, go out there and sign the player. And maybe Thomas Partey as well, you know, I wouldn't mind that either. All that being said, guys, I'm going to end the video around there. Of course, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to go down there and smash a like on it. 100 likes would be massively appreciated. Also, do subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. We are like less than 100 away from 10k. We're nearly there. We work so hard, so please subscribe. And as always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments on Jonathan David. Would you take him at Arsenal? Can he replace Aubameyang in the future? And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to follow all my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, and subscribe to The Offsiders, my group channel. We're making some banging videos there. We made like an Olympic video. It's banging. Go watch it. And also make sure to vote for me for the Football Content Awards. Links are in the description. But with that being said, guys, let's end the video there and there. In today's video, lads, we have discussed Jonathan David and why I think Arsenal must sign him. Would you take him at Arsenal? Let me know your thoughts. But with that being said, guys, I shall see you next time in a bit.